another former South by Southwest movie that we
Winner.
can talk about. This was an award winner at South by?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Well, it is a film written, directed, and starring James Morosini about a hopelessly estranged father who catfishes his son in an attempt to reconnect. The estranged father in this movie is played by Patton Oswalt, who is definitely the main focus of the movie, kind of the point of view character. So you're getting the perspective of the catfish, not the catfished, in this movie. And it goes in some very bizarre and uncomfortable directions. I was thinking about our friend Amanda, who has made her distaste for cringe well known, and
This
that she
is
would
that movie.
she would really struggle with something like I love my dad. It pushing the envelope on uncomfortable barriers in father-son relationships in the name of trying to solve these emotional wounds. It might be too much. It's probably going to be way too much for some people, but I thought it was actually pretty fun and surprising. Especially in the way that certain sections are filmed. They do a thing where a lot of the relationship in the film takes place over text, but they will make it more literal in the interpretation of it by having the actors in the same room together. And it leads to these just very surprising, funny moments throughout the movie. So I don't know. I kind of... I feel like I hear the idea of father catfish's son, and there's a part of me that instinctually wants nothing to do with that movie, but this was funny. I don't know. I dug it. I thought there was some interesting stuff here in terms of the relationship it's trying to tell, and it made me laugh in that cringe comedy sense several times. So I enjoyed it. I don't know if you've had a chance to rewatch it since they sent us the link to it, but I think you were positive on I love you. I keep saying I love you, Dad, for some reason instead of I love my dad. I think you were positive on I love my dad, right?
Yeah, I liked it coming out of South by. I thought it was a very interesting approach to what he says is a true story. And that's how it begins. It tells you this is actually something that I went through. You ask my dad, he is going to deny it. But it is the peak of cringe comedy. But it's in that cringe, like Zach said, that you actually get into the heart of the issue. When you're dealing with these emotions of a father worrying that he's not as connected to his son, they're going to do something cringe. It's not going to come out like Liam Neeson Taken professing their love. It comes to the conclusion of pretending to be somebody that you're not supposed to be. Like I said right there, it had won both the audience and the grand jury award at South by for narrative features. So that's why I was comparing it a lot to what's his name, who also won South by last year and has Cooper Rafe, very much so. A movie where he not only wrote it, but the writer-director of the movie is that main guy that you see right there because, what's his name? Patton Oswalt said, nah, you are this character, and I won't play the father unless you play the son. So he had to deal with a lot of the awkward moments. But yeah, I agree with you in terms of the way that they handle the text, because it really puts you in the perspective of them and how they're receiving the text, if that makes any sense. It's while someone is lying, the other person is receiving it and adding more context to it than what it really is.
Yes.
And it really showcases when you have the other person there, how they see the conversation going as opposed to what it really is. It's fantastic.
That's a great point. Because a lot of times there's almost a double meaning to text, and the way that words are said are not necessarily the way they're received. Doubly so when it comes to text communication rather than
when it's your dad.
Vocal communication. So yeah, I don't know. It's funny. It's a fun movie. I would definitely recommend it. I'm curious to see how people react to it because it's not the most comfortable watch, but it's a funny one. So yeah, I love my dad. We'll give that one a recommendation for sure.